World times, man. World times. It's Ibu back in. I don't know why we lost him, but yeah, what some world times. We're losing Ibu. Vince is back. Yeah, man. WrestlePurist worldwide episode number 20. I'm joined by Joe Hulbert, Manny the Hooper, Ibu of WrestlePurist, back up Hangman as always. Some news has just broken out about about 10, 20 minutes ago, something like that. Dave Meltzer tweeted that Vince is at Raw in Boston tonight. We don't know what he's doing there. Sean Ross Sapp got off a tweet a few minutes ago saying that he's reached out to WWE to get an official comment. Talent have said that they've seen him at Raw. He's there. He's in Boston. He's backstage. He's Talent has seen him. I don't know if they're happy. I don't know if they're mad about it. We don't know why he's there. But yeah, man. So obviously we're just going to jump straight into this Vince stuff. Joe, what was your first impression? Even though I was there with you, but
I think
what was your first impression when you first saw it?
has captured my initial response. I was here for triumph. I was here for victory. The FTR are back in professional wrestling. I came. I finished today's 4.5-hour pay-per-view on a high. Incredible show. So excited to talk about it with my friends.
You've only just watched it as well, haven't you?
I just watched it.
Still riding the high.
Grinning ear to ear. Cool video coming out tomorrow on WrestlePurists at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
And here I am. Have a great time. And I'm informed of this news. I'm like, well, that's going to change the show dramatically. But my immediate reaction was I'm not surprised, unfortunately. Genuinely, my take has always been that, like, it's a big deal. The real story will continue to be the sale. And I fear the worst on that front and always have. So we'll see how that goes. But, that's the elephant in the room for all of these conversations when it comes to WWE right now, right? The sale is happening, right? It appears to be happening, I should say. So
when you say for the worst, tell the people what you mean, because I know what you mean. Manny knows what you mean. Even knows what you mean.
I just have believed the whole time that, and there is a real likelihood that he comes out in charge of this thing, and that is a real, to me anyway, is like a cloud hanging over the whole deal. Now. I know there's a lot of fun to be had with these scenarios, but I genuinely sitting behind one of these, I would rather be on the right side of history and saying that I don't think it's good for professional wrestling if Vince McMahon is back at all. So, that's my real concern. Him being back already at TV is not a great sign. That does not bode well by any means. So, concerning, genuinely, again, I know there's a lot of fun to be had and bits to be played, but it's just, it ain't good for the game, man, at all. It's not looking good right now. So it's a shame.
It's not, Ibu, a backup hangman. You're like everyone claims you're the big WWE guy on the platform now. What's your takeaway when you first saw the Vince McMahon news break a few minutes ago?
It's one of those things that you always considered being very possible. You just kind of it was definitely a matter of when, not if. You're always just kind of hoping, unless you're just not hoping, which many people are. But you were just kind of hoping that that day was prolonged and or if not avoided. When Vince forced his way back into the company in early January, pretty much everyone was like, "This guy's gonna find his way back to TV," right? And the thing with Vince is, we did the whole sale thing, and in my opinion, when he set the price at $9 and everybody pretty much pulled out and said Endeavor made it clear that they're not really going to try to buy, and Comcast was ruled out on I think it was MSNBC. Nah, it was one of the business channels. But the point is,
Bloomberg, I think. Was it Bloomberg?
The point is,
a lot of coverage of the sale.
Nick Khan was on one of the business news channels, and the guy next to him straight up ruled out Comcast. And it pretty much made it clear to me that, it's either he's just selling to Saudi or he's not doing a sale. And I've been having a growing suspicion, guys, that really a sale was just his justification for returning without less. I think he wanted to be back at the company and not have as many SEC violations and lawsuits as he would have had just coming in normally. And so the way to justify it and keep the stock high is to go, no, I'm just back to do a sale. I'm here to facilitate a sale. If you remember, that was what he was saying. It's like, no, I'm not in creative. I'm facilitating a sale. Then after 2-3 weeks, it's, he might be giving some input on the shows. and now he's at TV. I think really what Vince wants to do is just get his old role back, and he's just slowly doing it week by week, month by month. And here's the thing: if
Playing the
hypothetically,
long game in his 70s.
yeah, as a 79-year-old man, here's the thing about this: if Sean Ross Sapp comes in an hour, right, and says Vince is there to visit John Cena, right? Okay, sure. Some people are going to cope and be like, "Oh, see, you can rest easy." No, you can't, because him being at TV, is like, no, you can't. This is him really dipping his toe in the water and checking the temperature.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he definitely asked Hunter a few weeks ago, like, if I just pulled up, like, would the boys go crazy? Like what would happen?
And if you're the talent, and you ever hear this, you need to be going crazy. Like, you need to be like threatening to walk out now. And none of them are going to do it, I don't think.
They're not going to do shit.
Joe, so here's the funny thing, right? In their heads, they're going to be like, fuck. And you know what they're going to do?
Yeah.
It's the ultimate, like, no-sell job. Like, they're just going to be like, hey.
They're all going to message Sean and Dave and you.
What's happening? Why is he here? Why is he here?
No one's got a whole, someone like Mustafa Ali is going to walk out. No one's going to care. Like, it's just it's tough.
It's tough, man. It's like there's a lot of scenarios that play out here where he's just back in power and like is no worse for it, which is fucking disgusting. But that's how the game works. Unfortunately,
here's my thing, right? Again, even if it's like this innocuous, I'm visiting John Cena, I'm just hanging out, I live in the area. It's like, you mean to tell me Vince at the building, right, is going to see Gargano Balor go 13 minutes and do like NXT moves, right? And he's not going to at least just comment like, "No, I wasn't a fan of that one, pal. I think that's like, no, he's going to give his opinions on things, bro." And you know how much he micromanages the way shows are run and put together. You mean to tell me if who's the head commentator on Raw? Kevin Patrick? You mean to tell me if Kevin Patrick's like, Finn Balor, he came from WXW Germany, Vince is going to be like, fuck. Like, he's going to find things that really annoy him, and he's going to nitpick it, and he's just going to tell them to stop doing it, or just be like, bro, I will be in the chair next week if you don't stop doing this thing. So there's way too many pathways to successful reinsertion of power for him right now. There's more options for that than there are like cases of this just being like, you know what I mean? Like, oh no, nothing's gonna happen. Like, no, the writing is on the wall. It's an inevitability. For all we know, he's fucking in the chair. Hopefully not. That'd be insane. But again, for all we know, yeah. Again, look, I'm not surprised. When Brian Alvarez tweeted Welp, I literally immediately hit up someone with information and literally said, "Don't tell me Vince is at Raw." And then 4 minutes later, Vince is at Raw. So, we'll wait on the details. We'll see what happens. Tonight's show is going to be very interesting. I hope to Jesus, dear Lord God, he doesn't appear on television. That would be really, really bad. It would also be embarrassing because the fans in the live attendance would probably cheer him.
No, probably about, bro. They would definitely cheer him.
100%. It would pop huge. It'd be so. It'd be horrible scene, bro.
John Cena and Vince McMahon like hugging on TV, like to cheers of 13,000 people would be like one of the most grim images in recent wrestling memory. And yeah,
it's the most disgusting promotional tactic wrapped up.
Easily. And so my last thing on this is this is just unequivocally, inarguably bad news because morally and ethically, Vince McMahon is a terrible person, and creatively he worked to the detriment of his own promotion for a long time. And whether you think Triple H is a genius or just literally just competent, his product is notably better than Vince purely for the sake of just from the standpoint of stability and logic. So yeah, this is pretty bad news.
Yeah, man, it's interesting times to say the least. Manny, we all know you love the Fed, big WWE guy, only second to Ibu on this channel. What's your takeaway? Vince McMahon back at Raw.
I don't gotta take it by. I just found out about it right now from you guys. I mean,
just keep shrugging his shoulder.
I mean, I don't. I just don't know what to say. I mean, these guys, hate him
is
so
with this-
much.
What's with the De Niro deal you're doing over there?
I don't know. I don't really even know how to take in the news. I don't know how big of a deal it is, and you hear stories about people wanting to leave if he comes back. And it's like, come on, bro, you ain't gonna do shit. You just
No one's doing shit, bro. Nobody's doing shit.
You're gonna sit there, give him a handshake, and be like, "What do you want me to go out there and do, boss? How stupid do you want me to look out there and just go tap dance out there?"
Yo, how much you guys want to bet Cody saw him, shook his hand?
100%.
Whispered "Welcome back, coach" to him or some shit.
Yeah.
That man was like, "Good to see you, boss."
Yeah. You calling the plays again around here? It's one of those deals, there,
Did you have Vince whispering in his ears like, "You're doing great. Might put the bell in your next year, bell." Huh?
Yo, let's tick off some super chats because we've got over 10. So appreciate all that. Also, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, super chats if you feel it ever so generous. Zetopia Productions 499 says Brian MJF exceeded expectations. Match of the year. It'll be tough, but Cody versus Roman has match of the year potential. It should be great atmosphere based off the face-off promo. Yeah, man, Brian versus MJF was great. I think everyone agrees on that, to be honest. Match of the year contender, at least, for sure. Cody versus Roman, if that's the bar that you're setting, I think that's pretty high, If your bar is Brian versus MJF at Revolution for Cody versus Roman, I think that's a pretty high bar to set. But like you said, the atmosphere, WrestleMania, big stadium, big fight feel, like Joe just said. Yeah, man, it'll be a good shoot.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure it'll be on that level, as you said, but I think it'll be a good time regardless.
Yeah.
100%. Rob, of course, our own unpurist. Rob, no chance that's what you got. I mean, hard times, bro. Appreciate the super chat, though.
Please don't appear on TV. Could you imagine Nick Khan hit up Sean Ross have to report that whole Raw's gonna be a big newsworthy show today because he knew in his head it's hey, it's big because the boss is here. Jesus,
it's crazy. Jose Mourinho, $2. Appreciate you. Triple H is a specialist in failure. Well, yeah, it's not the best news for him.
It's a good bit. I respect that.
If he isn't sitting in his main chair today, then he is okay. Hold on, Monty. We just got the Fightful report, the official one.
Oh no.
You just know.
Go ahead. What happened?
You just know that Vince watched Revolution last night and said, "Man, I got to get back in that chair. There's no way." He said, "There's no way that
Vince watching Revolution is incredible,
bro. Are you?
Yeah, I'm leaving that one up because that's quite funny. Monty, do you feel losing back up to Fox News? I mean, they're tweeting about FTR and
they are.
That was a fucking rip. That was a political hit.
It was.
Man.
The funniest thing about Vince and Vince's taste is we'd have these weekends with an incredible AEW pay-per-view with stellar wrestling, right? And you'd follow up with a Raw with just some of the most
nothing
insane nonsense.
Bro, you want to know what's funny to me? Is obviously Manny was just messing around, but it's just bro, I think tonight's Raw, there is a chance that this is the first Raw he's watched since he's left. I didn't really think that.
Look, man, he might have become a spreadsheet guy in his time at home. You don't know.
He was Bryan Danielson at Wrestle, and he got a tear in his eye and said, "Bro, this is what I didn't let him do this shit here."
Could you imagine Gargano and Balor's match tonight's really good? And Vince is like, "Damn, Hunter, this is some wrestling."
Oh, bro, imagine there's a report tomorrow Vince watched Raw last night and loved everything.
Never impossible. He didn't love his own shows that were written for him. The shows that were written so that they would satisfy him. He liked 3 people.
He didn't like his own shows, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Dude, do you know why he would match
and he'll just blame Bray Wyatt or something.
Well,
The thing about Vince is, guys, the reason he would release 20 people at a time every couple months was because he liked 3 people on his own roster. He liked Roman, Charlotte, Becky, and Brock.
And Becky had to earn it. Like on another level compared to some of the other names that we've just mentioned. So
you niggas think he likes Drew McIntyre or like Gunther?
I think he was high on Drew McIntyre for like 6 months. You know,
he liked him for a little bit. Heyman worked him.
He gets bored.
After a couple months, he's like, all right, what's Randy doing, pal? Where's Brock?
He likes Corbin.
He likes Corbin. Yes.
He does like Corbin.
Oh,
for some bizarre reason. He doesn't seem like your typical Vince guy at all, but whatever.
I just hope that when Vince was away, he sat back, popped back in those old WWF tapes, watched the Bruno's reign in Madison Square Garden.
He didn't like WWF. He liked
the tapes.
He hated his dad's company. He thought it sucked. He thought it was like low level wrestling bullshit. He actually went out of his way to make it like a big, like spectacle based glitzy product because he thought like the previous version of his product was just like bullshit. He doesn't like wrestling. He doesn't like wrestling.
Wasn't his favorite tag team? Wasn't his favorite wrestlers a tag team? I forgot what they were. The names of them. Dang,
I don't know.
Let me go look it up.
Vince likes like.
While Manny looks that up, let's keep flying through these. Jose Mourinho again, $2. Appreciate you. Ayo, I never lost 7-0 to Liverpool. So that's that's a lot of blow. There's no need for that violence on the WrestlePurists podcast. Appreciate Young Dende 499. Appreciate you too. Vince being back is going to have the Elite going into TK's office singing like that one prisoner. Hello there, Your Honor. I want to say I'm sorry. I wish we had the clip now.
Yo.
Wow.
Yo, listen. Ring Rust in the chat said Vince will look at Dragon Lee and think, I thought we got rid of Callisto.
That's crazy, bro.
I feel so bad for the town. So bad.
Oh man, you got to feel for them, but at the same time, none of them are like
gonna do anything.
Yeah, so it's kind of like if you're not gonna fight the battle yourself, being in the thick of it, and I know it's your job and your career,
the battle.
You know what I mean? If you're not gonna fight the battle yourself, bro, don't expect the fans to do it online and the podcasters, etc.
So we've known that this year we've been watching a Triple H product with a Vince suggestion here or two. That's been publicly known, right? And by my estimation, you really couldn't sense the interference except for the Brock Omos stuff and the rewriting of that in the Bray Wyatt situation, right? And so, so be it. If ultimately you get a product with 10% Vince, so be it. But now we're looking at a situation where literally, like, dude, tonight, right, for example, could you imagine, Monty, if like off rip there's some really weird finishes and some really weird things is happening?
People are going to do that anyway, bro. It's like Triple H still does DQs and weird finishes, just not as much as Vince. So if one happens tonight, bro, Vince booked that.
So here's the deal. There's people who don't watch Raw, but they watch it on the timeline. You know what I mean? They quote tweet things and they make statements. As me and you, as we watch the show, right, we know how these guys do things, right? Like there's a Triple H way to doing finishes. It's usually like stable warfare on the outside, and then like a or whatever the fuck, and then the finish. He does DQs like once a month, right? If Gargano versus Balor goes, if Gargano gets squashed, bro, like it's Jover. You know what I mean? Like if matches don't pass 3 minutes on Raw, it's fucking Jover.
The lineup's actually good for Raw tonight, and this is just kind of like
doesn't they get a lineup?
Yeah, no one gives a shit anymore. Like in terms of like people who follow wrestling. Anymore. I'm sure people who just turn on fucking USA Network at 8 p.m. don't give a shit.
The show is Beast.
They were rolling on cage.
What do you say, Manny?
Vince's favorite wrestler is Dr. Jerry Graham.
But respect.
WWF superstar.
Yeah, man. Let's keep plowing ahead. Darren Walker, £5 super chat. Appreciate it. MJF versus Danielson, best match in AEW. It was fantastic. Also, who's behind WrestlePurists FTR video out tomorrow? Mr. Hulbert. He's the voice behind it, and of course, it was edited and basically put together by a good friend, video editor. Our only video editor. I was going to say head video editor, but our only video
He,
editor right
he
now.
carried, if we're being real, right? He
Matt,
carried, but
at WrestleD. You go follow him on there. But yeah, man, we got this FTR video coming out tomorrow, kind of recapping the year that was 2022 in FTR. Obviously, they've had an amazing year, as reflected by pretty much all the awards that they've been getting, and kind of the classics that they had that year that everyone still fondly remembers. So we've kind of done our best. Joe's done his best, especially to try and get that in a nice 5-10 minute video, and we're trying something new around here.
I don't want to do the big cheap plug deal because we have a lot to talk about, but it's very, very cool, and I mean that not about what I did, but Matt's edit is like incredible, genuinely.
Yeah, absolutely,
it's absolutely gorgeous to look at. Like he did an incredible job of it. So if you're even if you're not interested, I'd like to just click on it and pretend. But if you are, I think you're gonna have a really good time with it. I think you'll like it if you enjoyed FTR's year. So yeah.
We have an update to the Fightful report. So Sean's going to be updating this throughout the entire night because obviously there's going to be things to monitor because he's going to be there throughout the whole show. It says WWE talent have confirmed to Fightful they have had eyes on Vince McMahon at Raw in Boston. Several indicated to Fightful that Vince looked different backstage. What does that mean? Jesus Christ.
What does that mean, bro?
What does that mean? Like,
is his hair jet
he dye his hair? Is he like malnourished? Like, what's the
man? He's trying to be noticed. He's a hat on, some sunglasses, just trying to walk around backstage.
Is there a tracksuit?
He's in a disguise.
Could you imagine? He's wearing like a COVID mask. Like, who is this tall dude with like? Anyway, talent do not know why he was there, and were not briefed about it. Does that mean he visited and left? What's happening here? It says, it's worth noting that since retiring, McMahon has visited John Cena multiple times outside of WWE. Mm-hmm. Cena is appearing tonight, and one talent theorized that's why Vince could be there. Another person in the company said McMahon may not even be around for the start of Raw, but that was speculatory. We reached out to WWE in official capacity. Okay, hold on a second. If this nigga showed up at 6 p.m. to just say what's good to John and then left at 7, that's weird to me. That's kind of weird.
Testing say what's up, bro. You've said it all. You said it all already. It's just testing the waters, bro. Showing up. Hopefully, even if the talent don't fully go crazy, hopefully the ones that feel close enough to Triple H kind of are like, yo, the fuck, bro. Like,
Monty, the thing is, that's what Triple H himself probably feels like. Like, I guarantee you, real quick. If Seth,
but he can then relay that to blah blah blah.
Bro, he knows.
It's not just being paranoid about his job, which I'm sure he is too.
Yes. Why do you think he assembled the Raw and SmackDown rosters in meetings and explained to them, guys, I promise you, he is not part of creative. It's because he knows they're freaking out about it. Why else would you assemble like 60 men and women and go, guys, everybody calm down. Everybody just relax. I'm booking the show. Like, it's because they're all freaking out, including him. He knows.
It's messy.
I know Jimmy Blades is scared now on his phone. He's like, man, I made the wrong decision.
My prayers on Triple
Nose. King of the North, $2. Appreciate that. My prayers on Triple Nose's downfall have come true. So this is what the timeline has been.
Yeah.
More of these 55222 $2. Let them rock, Karma. Yeah, things, man. Fuck you.
Bro, like there are jokes to be made, but I genuinely feel bad for the talent because there's way too many people this affects.
Yeah, it's bad.
There's way too many people it affects.
Mm-hmm.
If who's a fucking name? Okay, if Johnny, right? Like if Johnny went to Hunter and he's like, "What the fuck's going on?" Like, Hunter's gonna just be like, he's just gonna like put his hand on his head and just be like, "Bro, look, let's do your job, bro. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like I don't know what to tell you."
Yeah, messy. Dragon Master Adam, £5 super chat. Appreciate that. Y'all think he's just gonna sit in the locker room? No, he will be sat in Gorilla the whole night. We'll see, man. We'll see what happens.
William Regal turns over to him and he's like, "How you been, sunshine?" Like, oh boy. Can you imagine if he's Rob Fee? Who the fuck is this guy?
Bro, the Cody shit, the idea of the Cody thing pops me, bro. Cody's just gonna boot it, bro.
Yeah, he's gonna dap him up,
Oh, nasty business.
I'm gonna make you proud.
Yeah. Jacob Donnelly, $5. Appreciate you. Vince gonna rip up that Raw script real quick tonight, bro. Who knows what he's cooking right now? He could be doing that right now. You know.
Yeah. As we speak, he could
right
be like,
now.
could he be like, what do we got lined up for tonight? And he's looking at me. He's just like, oh, what the fuck is this bullshit?
Yeah, it's not good, man. It's not good. King of the North again, $2. Fed dead, fleet flying. Yeah, man. Last night's pay-per-view was great shit.
Phenomenal.
Yuzora Hart, $2. Jay White and Dragon Lee must be sick. Listen, if Jay White ain't put pen to paper, you know.
Yeah, you gotta be like, yo, can I give this like a week?
He's like,
that was always the thing.
Give me a month, bro. Give me a month.
Every time he talks about Jay White, I try my best to just put that in there of like.
I did think it in the back of my mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
Joe, literally, the timing of him being a free agent and probably going to WWE, like genuinely, no bullshit. Like this was always in the back of my mind. Like, but what if this? And the thing is, I genuinely believe, had there not been any of this like sale baggage and Vince potentially, like if Vince had never even like indicated that he was coming back, I think they would have just flat out signed and landed him like a month ago. To be honest with you, well, not a month because that would have been Battle of the Valley, but like I think the deal would have been done, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I also think there would have been a higher chance of FTR potentially signing. But like I think there's so many potential signings that are like completely fucked because of the sale situation. So yeah, they probably are sick, Yuzora Hart.
I'm still holding out hope that you know maybe we get Jay White and Eddie Kingston for the Real World's Championship on Ring of Honor TV.
Listen, bro, I'm not objecting to that shit. You know? Even though I think Jay White should be in front of millions, but like still, and not 12,000 people on a club, you know. Like,
imagine Eddie Kingston just holding the Ring of Honor title like Ric Flair like that on his and then Jay White just comes out.
Them renaming the belt the Real World style, just calling it that at all times on TV would be fucking. King could do a lot with that. That'd be good shit.
Yeah, 100%, bro. The real pro wrestling, you know, like
the champion of the world, Eddie Kingston.
Yeah,
and then I got a message from a WWE talent
saying,
"All right, I'll read it to you verbatim. Hold on." Yeah, he's just walking around. Just saw him on his phone. LMAO.
He's testing the waters, bro.
What is it?
He's just trying to see if he can cook a little, you know. He's just.
What's he doing on his phone? Like,
Cody's gonna see him and he's gonna approach him. He's, nasty, everyone knows I love Cody as well, bro. But like, if he sees Vince tonight, that interaction is gonna be filth, you know.
He's gonna. I wrote. Did you say hi to him? He didn't reply yet, so we'll see what he says.
Okay.
I bet Elite fans must be pumping their fists like, "Oh man, our boys aren't leaving yet."
Vince McMahon, $1.99. That's what he was on the phone doing, watching the WrestlePurists podcast.
Crazy things have happened, bro.
So what do you guys want to talk about? We're talking about you, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Far 422.
Pay-per-view.
Far 422, $5. Appreciate you again. Vince will be ecstatic, but so confused to see Corey saying backstage again, but paired up with Bailey. That's crazy. We can't keep doing this, man.
Welcome back, Kyrie. It's like what?
Showtime Spurs, $2. If you see any rematches, it's Jova. Listen, man, it could be, bro. It could be.
Omos versus Cody tonight.
No, so this is, people are being spiteful to AO, bro. All these sports fans, you know. Bam, $2. Appreciate you. AO gets Vietnam flashbacks now playing Sevens Up. Sorry, GOAT. It's a spiteful sports discourse on the WrestlePurists podcast, you know. Maz fan 84, $1.99. What are the odds on another Brock UFC run? 0, because he's bro. The last UFC 200 when he fought Mark Henry. No, not Mark Henry. Not Mark Hunt. when he fought
Bro,
Mark Hunt. It was
if I don't-
1 year. It was 1 year into the USADA deal. For wrestling fans that don't know, do all the drug testing, and they're a lot more strict than most. Not perfect, but most. But Brock Lesnar, Brock Lesnar destroyed their test.
Yeah.
He somehow got passed for the fight. They 100% knew he was on shit, bro.
Mhm.
I was saying it in one of our group chats the other day. It's like, saw a picture of him on the scales at UFC 200, bro. How did you let that go down, bro?
I'm telling you, man. Brock Lesnar on all the steroids versus John Jones on a coke binge. That's like the greatest fight ever. Like that's the greatest what-if fight of all time.
It don't matter what steroid. It don't matter what steroids Brock's on. John Jones gonna beat the fuck out of that dude, man. I don't care what he's on. There's no way. No way.
You know, you would have lasted like you would last longer than gone. Telling you.
Maybe. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Brock could take a beating. I mean.
Yeah, no, it's not even that. It's just because Brock's just like a wrestler and he's fucking huge. What we're doing MMA discourse, but it's just like there's no way Jones could take him down that easily, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
No way. Like maybe you would just fucking fuck. You'd still get fucked, but just not that quick.
Imagine John Jones like doing oblique kicks to Brock, and then Brock just like
steadied. That's what I'm saying, bro. Steadied up Brock in 2023 lasts longer than fucking 2 minutes with Jones, I reckon.
Yeah. Probably, but we'll leave it there.
This is a wrestling podcast, so
it is. That's what
I'll put the odds at 0. By the way, Bam, I'm saying 0.
Guys, thank you so much for the super chat. Listen, we have 208 people live. This has to be the biggest house you've ever drawn, and so I guess morbidly, in a sinister way, this Vince news is great for us when it comes to content creation. I guess. I'd rather just do the 120 and not. but fuck it. Listen, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you've never watched Worldwide, it's a fun show. It's a fun time. We love engaging with you guys and talking wrestling. If you haven't liked the video, please do so, because we only have 39 likes and we have 206 people watching. So again, this is WrestlePurists Worldwide. We run this show before Raw every Monday. Today is a special edition episode, Monty, because normally we don't really review things. We just talk about the news and talk about shit. But we do have Revolution, which happened last night. Revolution was in San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I believe so, yeah.
San Francisco for the 9,000 people, 8-match card. Sure. 8-match card. Main event was the Iron Man match. I thought the show was tremendous, and we will be going through it tonight. So, I think we should just get started.
We're going to. Just 3 super chats left,
Sure.
One of them is our very own Mr. Parker, Mr. Don't Go Live, Tuesdays at 7:30 Eastern. $1.99, appreciate it. WWE is the worst wrestling promotion of all time.
Something about the way Parker writes things in the profile picture makes it so... like it's the
he's a professional. Yeah. Rob again, Unpurist, our very own again, $1.99, appreciate it. He walking around making a list. I've got a list.
Hey man,
I shouldn't say that.
Once a company sells, man, you gotta clear some names. I mean that's what it is. I mean it's part of the business.
Rob said he's walking around making a list. Yo, I guarantee you, he's just like, anyone I don't recognize is out of here in about a month. Like,
go learn some Japanese. That's what you're gonna tell him.
Yep. Someone tweeted. Remember when Hulk Hogan wasn't back? He was just on Raw to pay tribute to his friend Mean Gene, and then he was back basically immediately after several times. And he's saying that the Vince is there to visit scene is going to be the same thing. So
yeah, probably testing the waters, bro. Christy Wilson, $1.99, appreciate you. Vince needs to go away. Listen. For the better of WWE, absolutely.
Thank you,
$4.99. Word on the street is that this incredible pay-per-view plus Vince News combo has TK moving massive Booger Sugar into Jackson. Booger Sugar's creative,
Yeah,
I'll give it to you.
He's definitely
popping. He's gonna tweet something, bro.
Yeah.
Be like, Dynamite Wednesday.
Didn't he tweet something cheeky in December when it first broke?
Yeah, he did. I can't remember what it was. It was just one of those corny TK tweets, but
one of the funniest subtle ones that no one remembers now when Triple H first got into power, it was very much this like, honeymoon phase, and everybody was praising everything he was doing, and it was like, oh my God, Triple H has saved pro wrestling and WWE and right. The very first creative misstep Hunter ever did was the finals of the women's tag tournament when Aaliyah and Raquel beat Damage Control. I don't know if you guys remember that. It's about 3 or 4 Raws in. They won the main event there, and everyone was like, "What the fuck?" That was the first major misstep. And I remember Tony Khan like tweeted like a celebratory gif at that, which was just so funny to me. So yeah, be on the lookout for him. He's gonna tweet something today.
I need Tony Khan while during his coke sweats and all that, whatever he's doing, just like tweet out a graphic of Kenny Omega versus Buddy Matthews, for the ones.
He does need to tweet a Dynamite match. I do think he should tweet a Dynamite match. Can you man? Dealing resigned. Like he just tweets that or something.
Yeah.
Leader stay.
Not with a graphic or anything, just in all caps.
Yeah.
He tweets that picture of him with the Elite. And they're all in the suits at that premiere or whatever the fuck they're at. But yeah, man. Let's get into Revolution.
Yeah, man.
As Ibu said, San Francisco. I think there was about 9K in attendance.
Yeah, nice.
Headlined by MJF versus Bryan Danielson in an Iron Man match. We opened up with, I'm just checking so I don't get it wrong. I think it was Starks versus Jericho, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, we opened up with Ricky Starks versus Jericho. A feud that some people were kind of complaining about. Some people were also worried that that Starks might lose this one, and then it carries on even more so. I saw a lot of that. I'm also talking about myself. But yeah, man, Ricky Starks got the win. He's 2-0 versus Jericho. I think that's the feud done. It should be. I thought it was a good match, good way to open the pay-per-view. It wasn't like the most like dynamic moves, because of course,
right.
It weren't the two people for that. I thought they told a good story. The crowd was really into Ricky Starks, which has always been the case on this most recent one of his. And Jericho did the job, bro. I've got no complaints about it whatsoever, to be honest. What did you think about it, Joe?
I really liked it a lot. It was a super hot match. I was actually surprised when I finally got on my phone to see it got like kind of somewhat middling reviews. I was really good.
Yeah.
I know Ricky has become somewhat divisive in our circle. I know our friend Manny is not in at all. I'm increasingly bullish, man. I really do think
he's really good.
I think he's got the right idea. I think his instincts are good, and like he's
Yeah.
never going to be the guy who has like the highest average star rating, But I think he gets over. And the big picture, I think, is there with him and what he can do at this point. And I thought he was really, really great here. He's fire in that like shine, that fire up at the start of the match. Man, he was all over Jericho. That was good pro wrestling, great babyface performance. As you said, Jericho did what needed to be done. I am genuinely intrigued as to what you do next with him here. Like
100%.
the JES, I don't know what's left for the JES, So that'll be an interesting kind of thing to follow. But I'm very happy with Ricky's performance and the fact he got the win. I liked it a lot.
What about you, Bill? You're a big fan of Ricky Starks. I think all of us are, except for Manny in the corner.
I am a Ricky Starks fan. I do believe in him as a talent. I do think he's something to be in the upper echelon of AEW. Winning straight up was the right call here. Any other option would have just been a really bad swerve that would have prolonged this program. I just want to say broadly before I give my thoughts on this, because I don't have that much to say about this at all, really. But like, I think that in general, AEW, they've put on bigger, grander, more momentous pay-per-views than this one. But from an in-ring standpoint, bell to bell, in terms of just the pace and flow of the show, I honestly think this is probably the best AEW pay-per-view ever for me personally. For me, because like too many, there's a lot of their shows that people really like, right? That like I'm not gonna say I dislike them, but like there'd be lulls where like they'd lose me and then get me back and lose me, or there'd be a match or two that I just didn't care for, and like you'd go 14 matches deep, and it was just kind of tough for me. Like I'm not into those types of pay-per-views. Like I'm just not. And it is subjective, but that's just for me. So for this show, it was just so compact with just really, really high-end wrestling, top to bottom. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And also on another broad level, so many young up and coming homegrowns won matches yesterday, which is really encouraging and a great statement to make as a promotion. And the first of those was Ricky, and I think Ricky winning was the right call. I thought the match was pretty good. It wasn't quite as good as their Dynamite match, in my opinion. I thought the match was great. This was good, but it had heat, and then the right guy won. So I thought this was a good way to start the show.
Man, both like you said, the first match was probably, I agree with you on that, way it's probably marginally better, but they were both really good matches, I thought.
I thought
So yeah, man, I thought it was a win. Manny, the big Ricky Starks critic at the channel, I thought it was a good match, man. Where are you at with it?
That sucked. I sat there with my cousin. Look, I'm not going to repeat some of the stuff that my cousin said and all that about the match. My cousins, like, they first saw Jericho, like, they're like, oh shit, that's the guy that beat the Rock and Stone Cold. And then when Ricky came out, and like, who's that? I said, guy he's wrestling and all that. And I'll just leave it at that.
Just some derogatory things.
I think the fact that someone actually identified Chris Jericho as the guy that beat Rock and Austin is really funny, because Chris has
That's
been
all Jericho ever wanted, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's been pushing that propaganda for like 2 decades, and I feel like no matter how many times he says it, that's not what people remember him for at all. Like when they talk about Chris Jericho, so someone finally being like, "Hey, the guy who beat Rock and Austin in the same night," is like it's a success of his.
If he ever hears this, I'm sure he'll pump his fist.
He's gonna pump his fist. Yeah.
I just told him that Ricky, like, people see him as a star and all that, and they were just like.
You're never gonna. Manny never changes his stance. So,
when they told
this
me
is
that,
one that he's
like this, I said, "Oh, finally."
Call me a
cynic. I did the Dave Meltzer thing. I did the Dave Meltzer thing where he asked his friends, like, for like analytical advice and
talking about Wrestle Kingdom at parties and stuff. Look, call me a cynic. But after doing shows with Manny for around 6 months, maybe more, not sure I trust his recall of this towel. I'm not convinced, Sometimes he misremembers a detail or two. I'm not convinced that he maybe didn't introduce Ricky as a guy who fucking sucks. Set the tone, but
I'm trying to be unbiased as possible, because and then, like, I can tell one of my cousins is trying to pop himself because he also knows who Dave Meltzer is because of like.
Wait, hold up, what? He's a Meltzer guy.
He knows him just because of like MMA stuff and all that too. So it's kind of the weirdest things. And I guess he was like looking it up, and he says, "So does Dave do like 5-star, like the 5-star stuff?" And I said yes. And he popped himself throughout the whole Met show, like just being like 5 or 4. He was going like that that's the whole time.
That's good shit.
That's some real shit.
Yeah.
But you weren't too high on it, was you, man? I'm looking forward to seeing your star rating for it.
2.5.
Okay, what did we have next? Because I don't have the order in front of me.
The next match was the best.
Jungle Boy and Christian.
It was the best violent match on the show. Jungle Boy and Christian had what's AEW's official name for it? A
Final
burial match. Yeah. Final burial match. Jungle Boy, Christian. It went about 14 minutes. Jungle Boy came out in jeans and boots. Christian came out in a sleeveless turtleneck.
He's the best, man.
That's a real heel, bro.
He's so great. Man.
A sleeveless turtleneck did no wrestling moves except except the unprettier at the end. I don't know if anyone even caught that. He did no real actual wrestling maneuvers. He just kind of, did smarmy heel things and gestured and got heat. They fought around the arena. They went up to the stands. They threw each other around ringside. They made it up to the stage. Very, very heated, very gritty. And ultimately, Jungle Boy threw his ass in the casket. And then when he went in the casket, it's almost like it unlocked something, because it's like Christian's body goes in and the casket just drops like it's a video game. And Jungle Boy goes over. I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely loved this. I thought this was
it was terrific.
I thought this was phenomenal. Jungle Boy, he's somebody that I've noticed, for me at least, his level of performance goes up on pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it. No, absolutely. No, but in modern wrestlers, they have one speed, man. Like these guys, whether it's TV, fucking an indie show or pay-per-view, it's one speed. And I mean, obviously, you want your talent to go full throttle as much as possible and give effort, right? But with Jungle Boy, it really feels like he's a big match wrestler, a big game player. There's like a Shawn Michaels-esque poise to him on these pay-per-view matches in a good way. I noticed it in the cage match with Luchasaurus, just the way he was kind of flinging around, and then something about the jeans just made me think of SummerSlam '02. But yeah, I thought Jack Perry was so good in this match, in my opinion, and what I was really into was just how much it really felt like there was animosity there. Like it really did feel like
real hatred in the air,
real hatred. Jungle Boy wanted to just get out of this guy. Christian's trying to bone Jungle Boy's sister. Like they're throwing each other into steps and stuff. Really, really gritty. Really, really just heated. Yeah, I was super into this. This is one of my favorite matches, not only of this night. This is genuinely one of my favorite matches of the year. I was super locked in on this, and it was just paced so well. When I found out today that it was only 14 minutes, it kind of blew my mind because it felt like they packed so much in there. I thought this was phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a Jack Perry fan, and I agree with everything you said about him as a pay-per-view wrestler. But to me, this was the Christian Cage show. He was unbelievable here. I'm a huge Christian fan, so I don't say this lightly, but I honestly think it's one of the best performances of his career. He was incredible here. His timing on every cutoff, the way that he bowed, the way that he was such a coward on defense, and on offense, he was such a piece of shit and so nasty and spiteful. I mean, he was unbelievable. And again, I think a lot of Jack Perry. So I'm not saying it to slight him. I'm just saying that's how good Christian was here. I thought he was incredible. I really hope he can kind of become a part of the roster again now that he's healthy because he has so much to offer. Incredible performance. I thought it was such a smartly put together match. I mean, these matches are hard to do because they are kind of like inherently dumb, right? It's a final burial match. It's ridiculous. But man, they grounded it and made it feel authentic and like a, like as you said, it made it feel like a blood feud, which it was. So absolutely terrific. I absolutely loved it.
One of my favorite things about this match, like once Christian got into the coffin, everybody thought Christian was done with AEW. I saw a couple of those tweets last night. I just thought it was funny. Like, man, these guys just can't have blood feuds anymore without worrying about them leaving to the other company. I think Jungle Boy has been incredible in these gimmick matches for the pay-per-view. I think this is his bag. And another thing too is I'm glad that AEW managed not to kill Christian last night because that could have gone really bad. And then I was really scared when these guys were. Did you see how they were swinging the shovel at each other?
Yeah.
Bro, I was just like,
it all added to the atmosphere.
It was so well done, man.
Bro,
it was incredible.
Bro, when they were swinging that shovel full speed, I said, "God damn! At least these guys are fast." Because man, if they caught him, man, it would have been bad. And then that concerto that Jungle Boy hit on Christian, I thought he killed him.
I've come to realize, Monty, some of my favorite AEW stipulation matches are when they capture all the good aspects of a 98-99 Fed main event, to be honest with you. This feels like literally out of a Russo SmackDown, but like in a good way. Just like the inherent silliness of it, but also the heat and the frenzied nature of everything. It just like I've noticed it with this and other matches they've done in the past. It's something AEW is good at doing. They're good at studying the past of wrestling, right? And bringing you flavors of them on their TV. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It might be almost a lazy thing to say about Christian, but it's the little things, man.
No, you're right.
Like, it really is like. So it's like when he's been away, it's like like as a fan, it's like it'd be nice to see Christian on TV again, and you miss him, but it's like kind of like you just kind of miss Christian and the idea of Christian. It's not kind of like I miss Christian having banger matches or doing certain things. But when you see him have a promo like he did last week, or he has the kind of performance like he did yesterday, and you see those little things in motion, you just kind of like, you just fall into being such a huge fan of him all over again, and you just, you start standing him all over again. And he's one of the great wrestlers of the past 20 years, 100%.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, great match. Next up, we had the Trios title match. The Elite dropped the belts to House of Black in another incredible match on this show. Yeah, man, the Elite dropped the belts. Incredible match, as all expected. A lot of people were complaining about the build going into it, and fairly so, but the match delivered as expected. I thought it was a great shot. The Kenny Omega Buddy Matthews stuff felt like it was booked exclusively for me, even though it was something that a lot of people have been talking about for ages. But,
it's a borderline meme at this point.
Buddy as well. The House of Black were like really on, you know. It weren't one of their like slow, methodical beatdown performances. They were going for it, you know. Buddy Matthews was in 205 live mode again. And of course the Elite. Yeah, the Elite are, arguably the greatest trio, probably are the greatest trio of all time, and they did their thing, and it was a great match, man. Manny, what did you think?
The first time I would say my cousin, like another funny thing that popped in was he told me was weren't the he thought the House of Black were the champs, and then when I told him no, the most popular guys or the other guys that came out to Wayward Son, he said, "Wait, these guys are the stars and the champs." I said, "Yes," and he couldn't believe it, which popped me huge.
God bless.
So it's kind of funny just watching somebody's perspective about all.
It
this
always
stuff.
is, bro. Anytime you're watching wrestling with like either a in and out fan or just a complete outsider, like they'll say some shit that just makes you look at things from a different perspective and just pops you, you know. But yeah, man. What did you think of the match?
The match was awesome. The match was awesome. I just seeing Kenny interact with Buddy and Malachi, it just felt like big time, you know. And especially when the crowd lost it once he had a face off with Malachi Black, and I was like, man, I hope now that we hit the trios all the way, I hope we see Kenny wrestle both these guys, you know, in singles matches, and I really hope that the House of Black aren't just shoved to the side as what's been happening with the trios titles. I actually hope they actually do something with them and they actually stick to working like the way that they were instead of the whole lore shit that they've been doing. That's about it.
Yeah, I think that's the main. I mean, I thought the match was wonderful. I thought it would be. I think most of us kind of expected it to be, and I expected the title change too. Big takeaway for me coming out of it is they've got to get this trio in the ring often, man. Like, I think they should really shoot for them to make weekly defenses, and I don't care if some of them are on fucking elevation against like Mismatched. I don't like. The House of Black need to wrestle more. This is a spectacular trio. They all have their own strengths. Brody King is a beast. I mean, a real big man.
No.
That was crazy.
He's
a real big man, though, for sure.
One thing I forgot I wanted to add was like people kept saying that this match helped make Brody stand out as like awesome, but I thought this made like Malachi just like another level and reminded people like this guy is a star.
He's a star. Know? Yeah, like I
think people forgot about it, and like this match just really enforced it for me.
I hope people when we talk about House of Black, I get frustrated sometimes. I get frustrated with their usage and their presentation because it's obvious what they're capable of, and I think sometimes the kind of the character elements like get in the way of their actual strengths as performers. Malachi is the biggest example of that, right? Malachi's great. It's just sometimes it's the last thing that we get to because there's so much in between, us and the matches. So, really good. I just hope they wrestle a lot as champs because I want to see them wrestle. They're a great trio.
To piggyback off Joe, I get frustrated because there's certain wrestlers who get like a bad rap or people kind of turn on them because like I feel like there's so many people existing now that like fans forget like that they're really good, because now it's very, we live in this like landscape where if you're not wrestling constantly and having great matches constantly, people forget you're capable of doing so. It happens with MJF. It happens with guys who are underpushed in WWE. And then in the case of the House of Black, it's like people genuinely started playing with like Malachi's name. Like people forget the reason why we were excited when he came was because he's really good. I'm a fan of him. And Buddy Murphy's another guy that it's like people act like this dude is a fucking bum. Like, he's really good. And we know what Brody can do. I agree with Joe. Like, they're a great trio of wrestlers. Like, first and foremost, they're really good wrestlers. I would like to see them wrestle more on the shows. Regarding this match, it did have this big fight feel, especially when Kenny got in there with any of them. Literally, Kenny with any of them, it was like, holy shit. To be honest, the Bucks almost felt like backseat players here, and not in a bad way, but it just kind of felt like you were just seeing Kenny take turns with each member, and each interaction felt like special. I like this more, honestly, than the majority of the best of 7 that the Elite had with the Death Triangle, and that series was really good.
Me too, yeah.
Super into this. Kenny Omega, man, he is still just a special wrestler, and I'm really glad he's free now to hopefully have more singles matches on TV, because I think we need to just be reminded of just the value of having Kenny Omega available. You know what I mean? Like Tony has Kenny Omega available to do things, and it's like, and we're having him like in a t-shirt, just getting spooked by the lights being shut off. It's like, get this guy on TV wrestling, man.
Yeah. So hey, man, I people were freaking out because they lost, and they're just like, oh man, what are they doing? I really think that I think what happened was Tony Khan he saw what was happening to the tag division and realized what was happening in the singles division. Said, man, I need these guys in those divisions more than I need them in the trios.
I honestly think they were always winning, bro. I thought the House of Black were always going to win.
The House of Black was always going to win the match. I think the thing was the match always going to be at Revolution or Double or Nothing.
Right, that's fair.
You said it on Thursday. You'd be like, if House of Black didn't win this match,
they're fucked. Yeah,
they were
cooked. They literally had to win the match, so they won the match. Yeah, man. Look, the Bucks are gonna get reinserted into the tag division. I almost feel bad for them that they're gonna have to like be used to re-raise the standard of wrestling there, because I just get this weird feeling that like, not that they want to be like retired, but that they want to kind of like chill. Do you guys ever see anytime the Bucks have a crazy step match now, they tweet on Twitter like, we don't have any much more of those in us anymore. They always tweet shit like that. And I'm noticing them like intentionally trying not to like go too crazy now in trios matches. They let Kenny kind of just go nuts and they'll do some cool stuff. Because I honestly feel like they're not trying to be relied upon to be this like 4-star match machine every fucking week. But that's fine because we have FTR. But I'll leave it there. I won't be spiteful. I thought the match was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
I also want to say, like, with Malachi, bro, kickboxing Malachi, I need him just to be that all the time. Like, it's like, bro, did you see? I lost it when I don't think I've ever seen it in a wrestling match where Malachi threw a kick to Kenny Shins and Kenny checked it. And then like Malachi just like started like swinging his leg around like it hurt him, and I was like, bro, I jumped up from my seat and I said, bro, I started clapping. I said, fuck, man, this is awesome. This is the kind of shit that I need.
Yeah, man.
Manny, did you not watch him in NXT?
Yeah, I watched some of the stuff. I just don't remember most of it.
This is always who he's been. Like, why people's wrestling memories are so short. They forget people are great, and then they claim people are bad, and then like when they have another great match, it's like, wow, Malachi Black can do this. Like, yes,
I always knew he was great. I mean, it's just that in AEW you don't really see him wrestle like that. You just see him just like
yeah, it's true.
Creeping around like a pervert.
Doing the House of Black gimmick, But yeah, again, Buddy Matthews, 205 Live, man. That knee that he hit before the finish was like fucking.
I knew Buddy was in the right mood when Nick Jackson did his like facebuster thing and he took it on his fucking head. Buddy did. I was like,
that's what I mean by 205 Live.
Yeah,
fucking
I was
Buddy
like,
Matthews, bro, bumping on his head.
This is the guy I remember.
Yeah,
it just made me so mad because I just remembered all the bad matches. Not bad matches, but like mediocre performances he had with Darby and Pac and Okada, and I'm just like, he had it in him this whole time. He was just like,
I do think the trios format like accentuates his strengths and hides his weaknesses as a worker at this point a lot, which may be part of it too. Because he was really good in the Death Triangle match, and also the tag with Sting and Darby at Arthur Ashe. He was really good in. So I think, singles matches are very different, right?
Kenny Omega hit a V-trigger on Julia Hart, which pop.
Kenny was fucking incredible in this match. He was extraordinary. I mean, he always is, but you watched him in this and went, man, he's still might be the best wrestler in the world. You know, like he's something else.
That's the thing, like we was alluding to earlier, bro. It's just like you got Kenny Omega. You actually got him back now, and you haven't got the Kenny. You've got a Kenny Omega that's even better than the one that left.
For sure.
Yeah,
he's in better shape.
He's fresh.
He seems like he's throwing himself into these matches. He's just he's on, bro. You just get him going. You know. I said yesterday, bro, I'd put the belt on him, but you know, we'll get to that stuff later.
When he kept coming in, like it genuinely felt like you ever see a great wrestler and you're just like, this sounds so like basic and dumb, but you're just like wow, like this dude is him. Like Omega really did feel like just kind of godly yesterday. Like he's in there.
Superstar, man. He is.
The thing is, there's been times in AEW. The thing is, there's times in AEW where I'm not gonna say he felt pedestrian because he's always really good, but like you don't feel that like whoa, like aura from him or whatever. You know, it's just it's Kenny, it's Kenny. You know, but like he's back to like he tags in and it's like this is Kenny fucking Omega, bro. Like this dude is crazy. I tweeted LeBron Omega yesterday.
Yeah, bro. Omega, what can you?
Yeah, like
genuinely one of the greatest wrestlers in ring performers of all time, and he is like he's always going to be very special to that audience, etc., etc. Again, I'd strap him up. Fuck it. Anyway. Before we carry on with the review, we'll get these super chats out of the way. Bam, $2. WrestlePurists worldwide. One can say it's a Tucker Carlson Tonight Show of WrestlePurists. Well, some say I've heard that. You know, I have heard that one. Reg, $2. Jericho carried that Cody groupie. So that's the say. Spiteful. Ricky Starks. These scores. Bam, $2. Monty, check your DMs. Some rumors to look into. Oh, this is going to be some sort of
so WrestlingNews.co. WrestlingNews.co posted something on their Patreon. I don't pay them, so I don't know what this is. But the beginnings of the article before it, what is this? Dude, what in the hell? Oh man. Okay, so WrestlingNews.co, like this article is titled "Backstage News on Fear of WWE Releases." Vince McMahon at Raw. The article, I can't see the whole thing, but the beginning of it just says that a talent saying that he's just there to visit. But do you guys remember that eerie headline from like the spring of 2021? I don't know who remembers this, where it was that Vince was just visiting the PC. Who remembers this? Yeah. He visited the PC. We didn't know what came of that. Nothing did. And then like a month later, half of NXT was gutted.
Yeah, man. Whoa, bro. Who knows what he's up to, man? He could literally be like the most wildest, worst of the worst thing you can think of. And he could literally be nothing. But either way, he's testing the waters, man. He's up to something. We just don't know what it is yet. So
spooky. Spooky.
King of the North, $2. Appreciate you again. Christian Cage better than Adam Copeland. This one. He is. Yeah.
Look, man, I'm begging you, Vince. Release Roderick Strong, please.
Fair response. Yeah.
Could you imagine? Roddy heard that Vince is here, flies to TV, and he's like, "Yo, I stink! Like, please get rid of me."
Croaky Boy, £2 super chat. Appreciate that. Next challengers for the trios titles.
I think Mark and the Lucha Bros would be a good match to do on TV this week, right? That'd be pretty fun. I mean, that match, by the way, we didn't talk about it because it was a buy-in match or 0 hour match, but that was really fun, by that match.
Yeah, really, really good. The 0 hour was just
interesting format.
Oh, yeah, that shit sucked, bro. I said, "Where's the match,
man?" Yeah, I was confused. Yeah. I was surprised the match went on that early. I was watching on delay. It was weird.
Bro, I said, "Man, I'm tired of these dick jokes, man. I just want to watch some freaking wrestling, bro. Come on."
Bro, we need that on a shirt for Manny. I'm tired of these dick jokes. I just want to watch some wrestling.
Mavs fan 84 $1.99. Hearing House of Black would be the best Omega singles match. I guess all of them in their own way. I guess it count. I think it's more circumstantial.
I'm leaving Brody, to be honest.
Yeah, I think
Brody's if you EW, right?
Yeah, like in a big main event epic, I'd probably go with Brody.
Yeah.
But if you're talking like a quick little 10-minute exhibition, maybe Buddy, you know.
Something in the middle, Malachi. Yeah, all of them would be great for sure.
100%, man. They're all great wrestlers, so that's what you get, you know. Josh Baker, $2. Next Best Friends versus House of Black. Time to let Chucky T cook. Listen,
I think they're turning the Best Friends, right?
Yeah. The Best Friends might not be anymore. I mean, just look at the way Chuck and Trent have been looking at them recently.
Yeah.
Trouble in Paradise, huh?
Indeed.
The anti-friend. There you go.
The WWE wrestler that messaged me earlier that I asked him, did you say hi to him? And he replied, we shook hands in passing.
Oh dear. Anyway, the Pro Wrestling Podcast, 199. Water. Pop. A lot of that being drank last night, you know. Okay. Far 222, $5. Pre-season in full effect. The boys and girls better make sure they don't be off lurking around. Facts.
Bro, you're telling me, Far, man. You should see my last performance last Monday, man. I was fucked up.
Hey, Paul, I'm looking at this format here, pal. Who the fuck is Piper Niven, pal?
Who knows, man? Fucking.
Well, you know, you remember Dewdrop? You know, we decided to give her name back. Why?
Well, I'm just finding the next match.
Next match was
the
women's trio.
Yeah.
Oh, 3-way.
Yeah. It was Saraya versus Ruby Soho versus Jamie Hayter.
Women's World Title.
They had a decent match. They fought on the outside a little bit, did some 3-way spots. Toni Storm was on the outside. Ultimately, Jamie Hayter got the victory, and it appeared that Ruby Soho firmly decided to take the side of the homegrowns post-match. But she Pele kicks and swerves the baby faces and joins the new little girl NWO that they're setting up here. The heels stand tall. They spray paint one of the good guys. I don't even remember. It might have been both of them. Like they just spray painted them with the L's. And Ruby Soho is the Hulk Hogan here. She's the third man. She's with the Outsiders. And so, yeah, Ruby Soho is now with Paige and Saraya, and Jamie Hayter is still the women's champion. I thought the match was all right. I thought Saraya worked pretty decently in a 3-way setting, more so than she did in the previous outings she was in my opinion. Yeah, the match is okay. This swerve is in execution. I thought it was actually like decent, like because I don't know why I didn't see it coming, but like when Ruby stood tall with the baby faces, I was like, all right, so that's the next big development. She's with the good guys, and then she swerved them. I was like, oh no, and I actually was kind of emotionally sad. Like I like Ruby Soho, so when she turned heel, I was like, no. But yeah, so in execution, I thought it was solid. In terms of like logic, I mean, you could poke a couple holes in like the reasoning and certain things leading up to this, but ultimately, this is what ended up happening. I'm wondering, Joe, what you think about this plot development and the match itself.
I like the match quite a bit, actually. I was happy to see it kind of exceed my expectations. More specifically, it was good to see Saraya look she was. I didn't think she was by any means kind of the odd piece, which was pretty good here, which was encouraging because you know, it's been a shaky start, to say the least. I'm in a very similar place to you in terms of the development. I thought it was actually done well, so I'm more than willing to let it play out. My instinctual reaction is I would rather be able to cheer Ruby Soho. I don't think she should be a heel. That's my just gut feeling on it, but it was done well, and ultimately, you know, you've beat Ruby as a babyface in big matches a lot, so you can kind of see the logic in kind of giving her a fresh look of paint. And I think Ruby's a very good performer, so she'll make it work as a heel. I don't know. I think she gives you a lot as a babyface, but overall, I thought it was a positive. I mean, the build was real rough, right? But this was a positive step. Hopefully, they can build on it. I have my doubts. We shall see.
The thing about it is, Ruby is she's a genuinely organic babyface in the women's division, you know? And sometimes there might be that fear of like, do you want to turn someone like that, knowing that it's kind of hard to create people like that? You know what I'm saying? Like genuinely, organically over babyface. So it is tough in that standpoint. It's why, like, you know, not that this would happen. Like if they were to have turned like a Willow Nightingale, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
Like it's like why? So yeah, like from that standpoint, and maybe some of the logic, it's a little tough. What's good about this, I think, is that Ruby is a really good talker. I don't know how good she's going to be as a heel promo, but I don't think Saraya or Tony would have been good mouthpieces for this stable that they're building, frankly, as like the primary speaker. And Ruby might do much better in that, and that might lead to better segments and angles going forward. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Manny, what did you think of this match?
I surprised and shocked that it seems like Ruby's going to be the leader of this faction, and like it's kind of crazy that Tony's giving her in the position, but it's also kind of cool. I should have known that she was going to turn because her hair was also green. I should have put the two together, but I didn't. And Saraya shouldn't, have been bumping like crazy she was doing,
Right. Mats, did you like this?
Yeah, it was good. I think Joe said it earlier. I thought it exceeded expectation. Like it wasn't like one of the best matches on the card because it was a fucking AEW pay-per-view and also happens to be one of the best in-ring pay-per-views I've ever done. But I thought, let's say for example, if we compare it to, I was gonna say I don't want to say all the other AEW women's title matches on pay-per-views because Jamie's been having some like great ones. But I think it's pretty high up there, to be honest. Especially like considering most of the defenses are probably Britt Baker ones. So like throw that into consideration. Yeah, I thought they exceeded expectations. None of them looked bad particularly. The angle at the end was pretty well done. Although like I think like Joe and Nibu both said, not really my instinct to want to boo Ruby Soho, but we'll let it play out, I guess. Sure. But yeah, man. Next up, we had the Bloodbath, I believe. Yeah, it was.
So I'm going to just remove myself from this by saying I thought it was fucking awesome. And wherever the conversation goes from here, I'm innocent. Go ahead, boys.
Wait. You guys are going
to Manny, get yourself back. Manny, say it was good, and then let's cook. Right?
Oh, this match was awesome. I think it was one of the greatest death matches of all time.
I'm messing around.
What you think, Manny?
I thought it's one of the greatest death matches of all time. This is what happens when you have two real professionals in there. They go out there and just kill it. These guys are fucking badasses, and fuck, man, it's one of the greatest AEW matches of all time. I gave it 5 stars. And then I don't know. I'm gonna talk about the main event real quick. I felt like this was a 5-star match, and then I watched the main event, and I said, "Well, if this was a 5 stars, then what is that?" Because I thought that was way better too than this match. So then I threw myself in a weird predicament. That's all I'm gonna say.
You might have to pull a David
Brick a lot, Manny. You keep in a lot of weird predicaments, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's his thing, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't do it with 5, but like I don't do it with like a 5-star. But like there's times where I'll give like a match 4, right? Then I'll see another match and I'm like, this is a 4. This is better than the other match I gave a 4. So then I just retroactively lower my score of the previous match.
What did you think of the match, Jibu?
This one, the Texas Death Match. I'm very torn on this because I was watching this, right, and like I said holy shit audibly maybe 7 times. They did some insane stuff. They worked really, really hard. John Moxley's a fucking beast. Hangman Page is a great wrestler. Super duper heated. Hangman Page won. His entrance was amazing, and that new song was really cool. Heard it was a one-off, which is really disappointing because I thought he came off really badass when he walked out there with that song. I had a couple disconnects with the wrestling. It has nothing to do with like the violence. So like I'm not one of those fucking weird pearl clutchers with blood or anything. But what I did kind of feel like was I even though the build was that of two people who hated each other, I didn't feel that sometimes in this match. It almost just felt like they were taking turns doing almost cartoon like things to each other. And kind of like it was like an escalation factor of that. And it's like, okay, this comically insane, violent thing to you. All right, now I'm going to hit you with this. And like they're hitting each other with bricks, and like Hangman's getting curb stomped on a brick and popping back up. and they're doing moves on bricks and shit, and it was just going really long, and it just kind of started testing the bounds of realism in a way that kind of like killed my personal immersion of the match. And so, like, I'm not saying this to say that it was bad at all, because I still think it was really good. I'm just saying I didn't love it as much as other people for those reasons. I can't get super into like the cartoon death matches that happen sometimes. And so that's kind of how this felt to me. But it was still really, really good. The closing stretch was awesome. The finish where Hangman hung Moxley with the chain was like phenomenal. And ultimately, the story here is that Hangman Page, a guy who isn't prone to violence, doesn't really like it, can get down and dirty if he has to, and he did that. And he beat Mox at his own game, and he's the king of the Texas Death Match, and so he's undefeated in these, and I thought it was great.
Yeah, man. Obviously, got your way of looking at things,
Yeah.
It was very, I don't want to say, you use the word cartoonish. I don't think I'm quite there, but I kind of get what you're trying to get at, because it was very, like, overtly violent, intentionally, and the way it was strung together was pretty much just kind of going back and forth and just doing crazy shit to each other. But nonetheless, it was still a really great match, because of course it was fucking Hangman Adam Page and John Moxley. Very violent, grotesque, made you like wince and kind of want to look away. Like the moment when Moxley pulled out the fork, that was ugly, bro. Whether you liked it or you loved it or you hated it, fucking, it was ugly. He's stabbing him on the floor with a fucking fork, and he stands up and it's all sprayed all over him and shit. That was certainly a visual, and this match produced a lot of those. Yeah, man, I thought it was great, but it was a lot, and it was intentionally meant to be. I'm a big fan of it, but it did. You mentioned how it didn't kind of capture the hate that they used in the build-up, Ibu.
That's really my thing. It's not like I'm seeing people in the comments thinking I'm talking about the I don't care about wrestling violence. Like, that doesn't, like, I don't get squeamish at blood at all or anything like that. It's more so that, like, it didn't feel like two people that fucking despised each other were fighting. I mean, like, I'm not gonna say it was completely devoid of it, but it did kind of feel like almost an exhibition shock value, almost cartoon like death match.
So it's like I think I don't personally think this match was better, but I thought it captured the atmosphere of hate better in the opener. Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy.
I agree.
But again, like I said, I don't necessarily think the match was better. I probably do think Hangman Mox was probably quite a bit better. But it's just in terms of like capturing that one aspect of the match, I just thought they kind of done a better job of it. But again, yeah. But anyway, Hangman, for 1 second, I don't think any of us was on screen anyway. I thought he was doing the whole like violence thing.
No, the chat was, so I was just
I know, but you ain't gotta explain yourself.
The people, I love the people. Anytime I can clarify for our base who understand it.
We got 15 minutes. We gotta get moving, brother. What do you think this? You think this is? We got time limits. Showtime Spurs $2. Back up Geary. Shake my head. See. They're kicking the shit out of you, bro. Darren Walker, £5. If do blood and guts women match, then at the end of the match, have the originals win and have Britt turn on Jamie, similar to ROH versus CZW Cage of Death. Yeah, man, you can do all kinds of things with that when they get to. I guess it depends where the story's at that time, and who the opposition are, etc. The Topia Productions. 199, appreciate you again. Monty and Joe are willing to do a Yank accent.
I do want to see this. I do want to see this right now. Actually.
I've done a Bray at some point.
Just do a regular Yank accent right now.
I'm not doing it on the spot. I'm sorry, brother.
Damn it!
I do want to add. My cousin did say during this match, saying, "Why are they doing this? Don't they know this is fake?"
Pop, real graps. Okay, yeah, but like I said, I thought it was a great match. It was a great match. Everyone,
if anybody didn't know that.
Yeah. Hangman got the win. I don't know if we've said that yet.
Yeah, I did.
Probably good to include that as part of an actual review,
I pointed it out.
Yeah, Hangman. I wonder what's next. Do you think Moxley's going to take a minute off? Do we think Hangman's going to be challenging MJF soon?
Hangman's going to probably look towards the championship, the world title.
You wouldn't surprise me at all. Okay, next up we had Samoa Joe versus Wardlow. A lot of people think this was kind of like the most. It wasn't bad at all. It was just fine.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like, it was just kind of fine, you know. And Wardlow won the title as expected, and it got like the quietest reaction out of all the results, you know. And but yeah, like you said, Joe, like that's the key. So like, at the end of the day, you can have like a shitty match, even though this wasn't a shitty match. No, even if they had a shitty match and the crowd fucking roared when he won the title, that's a different thing. That would have been better than having a fine to decent match. And
that's like Bray Wyatt. Yeah, I thought this was that sounded like Bray Wyatt, like a bad match that the fans just like because they like him. No, listen, I thought this was not that good. I think my biggest issue right now is that I don't think Wardlow has found himself in ring yet. To be honest with you, I still don't think he's figured out what he wants to be as a worker. He won the belt here, which I was slightly disappointed by. I wonder if he's just going to immediately flip it to Will Hobbs on Wednesday now. I'm really curious to that.
Hobbs needs to win that match, man. I really do.
So it's like, what are they going to do?
Fandom needs it, you know.
Yeah.
So if he immediately loses it to Hobbs, it's almost like you might as well have just had Joe carry it over to Wednesday. But I'm very curious what they do here. This match is just all right. Very much kind of in the cool down spot, but not in like a harmful way. Samoa Joe is still Samoa Joe. He's probably going to focus solely on Ring of Honor going forward now.
Yeah, I thought the work was solid. Placement hurt. The biggest thing is unfortunately, I think putting Wardlow alongside an opposite Joe has been really tough on him because Joe is so charismatic, you know. And I think the audience reaction, the audience reaction was telling, and that's a shame, and it is what it is, you know. But that was the biggest thing, Monty. You called it out. The reaction was the dampener more than the match's quality, which I thought was fine. So it's a shame. We'll see what we'll see what they do.
Yeah, Manny, you got any takes on Wardlow, Joe?
No. For all I'm gonna say, I saw the what is it, Double or Nothing poster, and Samoa Joe's on the poster, so I don't think he's gonna just be on ROH.
I have to be honest, I'm biased. He's one of my favorites ever. Him being like a full-time Ring of Honor guy at this point in his career seems kind of crazy to me. Like, he needs to be in the big buildings, you know. Him working Universal, I don't think that's going to get him going.
But 100%. He'll be used on Dynamite and shit. So
I think.
Yeah, Tony can't handle himself. He's gonna have one good match on Ring of Honor and be like, no, I need you to just go on Dynamite again. So I'm in.
Yeah. Okay. So next up, AEW Tag Title match, Fatal 4-Way or whatever they call them. In AEW, we had the Guns, obviously defending champions, versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett.
Orange and Danhausen.
Orange and Danhausen and the Acclaimed.
And the Acclaimed, yeah.
Yes.
Four-way match.
Yeah, it was fun. We got some, Billy Gunn hit a famous on Satnam Singh.
Yes.
The Guns retained, and I don't think any of us have really too much to say about it, but we will.
Back.
Yeah, let's get
FTR came back
to the meat. FTR are back. Guns were cutting a promo in the ring after, and as soon as they started talking, bro, we knew what
was up.
It's like at the end of Money in the Bank when Roman Reigns just started talking before Cena came out. It was just he started talking, like, why are you cutting a promo, bro, at the end of a pay-per-view?
I gotta say, whenever they just start a promo in the middle of a pay-per-view, you always kind of get up. It's like, oh, there's an angle. Oh, someone's pulling up.
Yeah, and the music hit, bro. That great FTR theme that we all
big pop,
huge pop. Maybe one of the biggest of the night, genuinely.
Absolutely. The crowd went crazy.
Definitely a top 3 pop in the night, 100%.
Dex got busted open too.
Yeah, they come down. They have a little brawl. You know what I mean? Dax gets a bit of colour, because he's a proper wrestler.
They're jacked as fuck. Dax doesn't sell it,
Yeah.
Bro, I popped that Cash Wheeler because it looked like he got emotional during all that. So
Yeah. Cool.
Speaking of Cash Wheeler, his quote tweeted our tweet, by the way, Joe. I don't know if you saw the live chat talking about it.
That's very nice.
So we've got a good quote tweet off our good friend Cash Wheeler.
Big fan. If you're gonna watch this 4-way, just watch the Saddam Scene part. That's like the only good thing in this match.
Yeah, the Billy Gunn famous.
incredible in this, legitimately. When Jeff Jarrett hit the stroke and he celebrated and looked to the sky, that was
he's still so good, bro. Like, I know it's it's been kind of like said a lot, but it's just like, it's part, man. The guy's like fucking 60 or some shit, and he's still in good shape and shit. Like,
he looks good,
yeah, and he don't gas out there, and he does his thing, and he does the old school quirks that pop us, He's great, man. But yeah, the gun's retained. It looks like they're going into a feud with FTR. They're probably going to belt up FTR, we assume. As Ibu said earlier, FTR are probably going to save the division because they're the greatest tag team in the world. Yeah, man. What we're looking forward to with FTR real quick before we move on to the main event for the last.
Generally being back, saving the tag division, the reintroduction of CMFTR, generally being badasses.
Also, we can post the video to WrestlePurists tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Exactly. Amazing video. I got to say real quick, I should point this out because people who were watching the timeline saw this. Joe, I was very, very shameless when FTR came back because I immediately went.
You should when your favorite wrestlers come back, bro.
No, it's not just that.
The timeline. What the group chat that take the piss out of you.
Yeah, right. But no, of course. But so the thing is, I became a crockpot Joe because when they came out, right, and then MJF in the main event comes out in the devil mask, I immediately started theorizing.
Oh yeah, you were. Yeah.
I was like, wait, FTR, MJF's in the main event, the devil mask, he's in all white, he's here. I genuinely I convinced myself.
You convinced half your fucking followers as well.
I convinced myself that he would. And then in the match, I'm the best. I'm the best in the world. I'm the best in the world. He does the elbow drop. I'm like, no, he's coming. He's going to be on this fucking show. I started DMing insiders mid-match. I was like, he's there, right? He's there, right? And they're like, no. And I was like, well, you're lying. You're working. Wow. He's there.
You're shameless.
That's crazy, brother.
When MJF said he's the best in the world, I grabbed my closest cousin. I started shaking him. I said, "CM Punk's here. CM Punk's here."
Yeah. And we'll get right to with this main event, this Iron Man main event with Bryan Danielson and MJF. The first 20 minutes of this, I genuinely could not focus because I was pacing in my room in anticipation for Phil Brooks to return to AEW. They went 60 fucking minutes. Tremendous work. Bryan Danielson is amazing. MJF in the later stages of this match was just unfucking believable. They traded various falls. Danielson got the first one. I think we ended with a 3-3 tie. MJF refused to tap to a submission that he was in. He was in what? Was it a Boston Crab? Was it the?
Yeah, it was a single leg Boston Crab.
Yeah, his selling in that hold was great. It went to overtime. And I thought this match was the best AEW main event in pay-per-view history. So AEW pay-per-view main event in AEW history.
I agree. I think it's one of the best matches in promotional history. To be honest, I thought it was masterful, astonishing performance from Max, who I know is very good. I'm not doing I'm surprised, but this was a great performance.
No, he went to a different level.
Really special.
He went to a different level.
He did, and Danielson is maybe the best wrestler ever. So yeah, it was incredible match. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, Brian's. It's funny how when Bryan has long matches, the way that he paces them makes them fly by in a way that I don't think anyone I've ever seen 60-minute and 30-minute matches as often even come close to.
He's better than ever right now too.
You kind of just watch him in awe,
Yeah, that's the overtime stretch, Monty. I was just in awe. I didn't even know what to say. You know what I mean? It was just wow.
Yeah, he's so good, bro. It's nothing no one said before, but running out of things to say about Bryan Danielson at this point. MJF definitely lived up to the occasion. He had a great performance, as Joe said. And, man, a lot of colour, pop me, the drama built towards the end. Then the way that they built the whole 60 minutes towards that submission in the end, at the end of the 60, it was beautiful match. Manny, anything to add?
Look, man, people claim to be different kind of breed, but they're really not. Bryan Danielson is a really different kind of breed of person, wrestler.
Great.
This man is a freaking savage. I don't know. I didn't even know 30 minutes flew by until I saw the corner of the screen, and I said, "Holy shit, 30 minutes has gone by." And then when the hour went by, I said, "No way, this was an hour." I was just blown away by how long. Huh?
Wanted him to wrestle another 30.
Yeah, I know. I wanted him
it.
to keep going. I wanted him to do that 3-hour Ironman he always kept talking about. So
Yeah.
well, MJF was also good too.
Yeah, he was incredible. Like he
was
lived up
great.
to the occasion,
It's-
as I said. Man.
Yeah.
He really
I
did. He,
would-
like he really did as well. You know. So
Mhm.
I
I
feel like
wish
he
MJF
ascended to a level he's never been at. Honestly.
I really wish MJF wasn't as annoying as he was on the mic as he is in the ring. Because MJF in the ring is like awesome.
Yeah.
It's really it makes me sad.
pop
That's it.
owned.
Okay,
But yeah, man.
breaking news from PW Insider. Update on why Vince McMahon is backstage at Raw. PW Insider reports Vince McMahon is merely there to visit John Cena and nothing else. He will not take a part in the creative direction or production of the show.
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
So there it goes, folks.
Here goes that first 45 minutes means nothing now.
Yeah, speaking of MJF, real quick, because we've got 2
Yeah.
minutes. And it's quite funny considering this news that's just came out with Vince.
Yeah.
So at MJF, there was a report on Saturday or Friday, I believe, that MJF is apparently told somebody in WWE that he can't wait to be there next year. Which is really, if you're Tony Khan, it's really not the sort of story you want getting out at all about your fucking world champ. And Dave Meltzer made me laugh recently when he was kind of talking about kind of like all this shit. And he's like, all this stuff with AEW talent, some of them really want to leave, some of them are working like they want to leave. And it's just like, it's WCW shit, bro. What are we doing? Like, why are stories like this getting out, man? It's not the greatest look. Obviously, MJF, after such a phenomenal performance last night, hopefully it's this kind of just gets swept under the rug, you know? But yeah.
That just pissed me off. I really hate these fucking wrestlers pretending like they don't want to be at AEW. It's like, come on, who was that even for? Like, who are you trying to
Exactly,
pop people on
yeah.
Twitter? Who are you trying to pop people on Twitter, bro? Nobody cares. It's like, even like you have Eddie Kingston even doing it. It's like, bro, I don't give a fuck, bro. I know you hate AEW. It's like, I don't know. I really wish this isn't like an epidemic in AEW where everybody's just gonna work it like that, you know?
Man, there's been a lot of it already, bro. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's where it's like it's not just happened once or twice. Like, it's like MJF has gone back and forth with it, and it's like there's multiple talent with the whole Triple H thing when he first came back, and it's just now you've got Eddie doing it as well, and it's just, bro.
I like Dax Live Chart. It's one of my favorite tag teams, but that looks so stupid now because that report came out says they signed long term with AEW, and then like they're still working that gimmick where they're just like they hate it here. It's like now that looks just stupid, you know, like and annoying for no reason. So what is he gonna do now on his podcast?
So like, even if MJF does eventually go to WWE, which I don't think he is personally, it's just like, come on, man, you know.
Yeah.
Come on. You know, what are we doing here?
Totally
He's the
honest.
world champ, bro. It's not even like, oh, he's a big star. Like, he's literally the world champ right now.
My beef mainly is when it bleeds over the TV show. As long as Max is not doing the
Yeah.
line every week in the promos, I can the online stuff. Like it's like I mean I get it. I don't disagree with anything you guys have said, but it's like when the Eddie Kingston TV presentation was weird. You know, like
It's
if it's just shit on Twitter, I can just like log off and ignore it. But when you're like, if Max, you know, he's actually stopped doing. I don't remember the last time he did the bidding war of 2024 thing on TV. I could be wrong on that, by the way, but I don't remember him doing it for.
He's
a while.
toned it down. He's toned it.
Yeah,
down.
so as long as
he's
he's
just doing
doing
it as a shoot now.
like, I can, you know, it's like they're almost different worlds at some point. You know, like the online stuff is so to me, it's so distant at times. You can see that in the reactions, right, on this TV show for certain guys. Like they're different things to me, so I try and separate them best I can, even though that's not the answer necessarily.
Yeah. Ibu, what do you reckon?
I don't have any opinion on this.
Nothing at all, no?
No.
I don't know. I just what's the last thing I'm gonna say? I know people are gonna be on. Are gonna say, well, you know, he's working you, brother. You know, you should have fought for the work. I just think it's stupid. You know, it's just like
It sucks either way. It sucks either way.
Yeah.
He calls people marks and all that. I'm like, well, you know, aren't you like a big mark too if you're over here working for WWE and all that? So I mean,
my God, you cooked him. Aren't you a big mark too?
He's gonna be in your DMs, bro. Okay. Yeah, man. That probably does it for us besides a couple last super chats. Yeah, man. King of the North, $2 again. Love Dutt and Satnam in their turbans. Fire. Yeah, man. It popped me huge seeing the girl. Sanjay put it over as well on the pre-show. You know, gotta sell it, brother.
Tremendous.
You know, get those last minute boys. You know. Darren Walker, £5, appreciate it. MJF's so great. He's already setting up feuds for 10 years' time. Chucking a drink over a kid. MJF versus Titus main event for Revolution 2033. Young Titus is the name of the young fan in the crowd, for those that don't know, by the way. You see, apparently it wasn't water. It was tequila.
For real?
Oh, yeah, obviously, Joe, you've just watched both of you and stuff, so it was a whole thing, like, while the show was going on. And Will Washington had to go over to him, and some wrestlers went over to him, and he was backstage in the end, all happy, and he's got tickets to the next show and stuff. But yeah, it was an issue, bro. It was an issue.
I'm glad they did something. That sounds awful. I had no idea.
Yeah, 100%, bro. 100%. Appreciate the super chat though, Darren. And the last one, Mazfan 84 499. Imagine the Elite Punk staying plus working together in AEW and Vince taking back control of WWE. It would be like a rewind back to 2021. Came on for real.
That may be a lot more likely than people think. I mean, it's increasingly clear it's likely, you know.
Listen. Punk's debut in AEW was coinciding with like the dripstick on Raw and like Jinder Mahal stealing Drew McIntyre's sword. You know, so
levels.
Real grabs.
Levels to the game, you know. But yeah, man, guys, please do like this video if you haven't already. It only takes a second if you're already signed in. And even if you're not signed in, do it, you know. We've been here for like 90 minutes plus talking I was trying to say rap. Talking graps. And yeah, man, gonna let everyone go and watch Raw. That's what I'm going to do anyway. Wish me luck for 3 hours. Is there anything else that we need to talk about? I don't think there is, man. Raw's pretty stacked, but obviously this Vince stuff has took over everything. But John Cena's back tonight.
Yeah, John Cena.
Solo versus
Kevin Owens. Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano. There's going to be an angle with Trish Stratus tonight. John Cena's there.
Who's Finn wrestling?
Johnny Gargano. Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano.
Someone else.
Jimmy Uso 1-on-1 with Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens.
But yeah, man, they've got an alright show planned up. But you know, it's 3 hours and Vince is back, so who fucking knows? The show's already started. It's 5 minutes in. Nothing too dramatic to happen yet. So yeah, man, please like the video again, please, people. It does help. Helps us get those views after this live stream and all that good stuff. Leave a comment too if you're feeling so generous for us. Appreciated all the super chats, all that good stuff. We'll be back tomorrow with Dungai Live, hosted by Parker, Murph, and Jamie. And yeah, we got any plugs real quick? Obviously, Joe, I'll come to you last because ours is obvious. Ibu, you got anything you want to plug? No. Okay. Follow him at Backpang Man. Manny, anything you want to plug?
No, but I do want to read this one quote from Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
He says, somebody asked him if he wants to be the MCU, and he says, I don't need to be in the MCU. I'm Nick Cage. There you go. I just thought that was funny.
I like it.
The way it looked like he was going to continue, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, he just took a breath and just didn't. You know? Good shit.
He does it a lot.
But yeah, man, obviously, mine and Joe's plug's going to be very similar. The FTR video tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern, recapping the of FTR. Joe, any parting words on the FTR video?
If necessary, mute the video and just watch Matt's visual edit. May enhance the experience, I've been told. No, but seriously, it's a really, really cool deal. That, like, Monty knows it means a lot to me to be involved in something like that, because it looks way better than my words could have kind of guessed. So very, very special. If you have any interest, I think you'll like it. It's pretty cool. So yeah, tomorrow 6 Eastern.
Tap in tomorrow 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. UK time for our UK friends. 6 p.m. Eastern. Why 2022 was the year of FTR. This has been WrestlePurists Worldwide, episode 20. I've been Montel, Joe Hulbert, Manny the Hooper, Ibu, back up Hangman, and like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Peace.